Shalom, all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. By Hashem Ruach. My name is Jacobo from Plaintables Camp. I put in, who do the Christians believe the Gentiles are in the Bible? In the Bible, Gentiles are the people who are not Jewish. The term is used both in the Old Testament and the New Testament, which that's a complete lie. When it talks about the Gentiles, there's two types of Gentiles. All right. If you get one, 10, 20% wrong, you're wrong. Especially when this is, important, a big topic like this. All right. In this case, they got 50% wrong. Anyone who is not of Jewish descent. Gentile would also broadly describe those who do not believe in God. It says, this word is used, it is not describing one nation or ethnic group. Rather, the term Gentile refers to anyone who is not Jewish, of Jewish descent. Gentile would also broadly describe those who do not believe in God. Who are the Gentiles according to the Bible? To put in simple terms, Gentiles describes anyone or any person of non-Jewish heritage. The Old Testament often describes Gentiles as tribes who worship other gods as gods. Let's do one more thing. So I'll type it in. Who do the Christians believe that the Sojourners are in the Old Testament? And they actually tell you that they are the Israelites. The Old Testament, the term sojourner refers to people who are passing through or living temporarily in a foreign land. The Bible uses the term to describe the Israelites, Abraham, and the Levites. That's a precept I got, the Levites, describing the Levites. And it gives you the scripture, that they would dwell in as strangers. In Egypt, it says a dictionary defines definition of sojourn in a temporary stay. The Bible frequently refers to the people, God's people, both the Israelites in the Old Testament and Christians in the New Testament. So sojourners and exiles on earth, they're the Israelites. Right? No need to say confusion. Let's check out one more or two more. Now I put in, who are the strangers in the New Testament? And it pretty much here says all those who really have faith in Jesus Christ. All right. So we know they don't have the truth, because it's not all. It says the Christian tradition presented in the New Testament builds upon the foundation believed upon in the Old Testament, that God's people are identified by being strangers and aliens. They confess that they were strangers and foreigners on earth. For people who speak in this way make it clear that they are, which is not even like direct. So it sounds like they're saying anybody. All right, because in the Old Testament it clearly a lot of contradicts what we read before, because it tells you here that they're the Israelites. Or it tells you about sojourners. All right. They're the same people. If you're a stranger, a sojourner, it's the same person that's just described slightly different. All right. A stranger said you're a stranger to the main camp that the Israelites were in. All right. So it means you're an Israelite, but you didn't stay with the main camp. And a sojourner that's described that you travel to different lands. All right. It's saying the same thing, as it's described differently. All right. So you go to Leviticus 22. It says, Leviticus 22:10, there shall no stranger eat of the holy thing. A sojourner of the priest and hired servant shall not eat of the holy thing. All right. Now, usually this word 21:14, zawar, is used for someone that's not an Israelite. All right. In certain instances, it can be used in extreme circumstances to someone that is an Israelite. But normally this word is designated to someone that's not an Israelite. All right. To be a stranger, to be one alienated. All right. So as you see the last two, actually, a strange woman, a prostitute. Okay. Loathsome. And so first you would designate it to, another nation, and then it would be designated to extreme alienation to Israelites, actual Israelites. All right, like in the case of Cornelius. All right. Leviticus 22:10, there shall no stranger eat of the holy thing. So that's absolutely right. So an actual person that is not of the seed of Jacob cannot eat of the holy things. All right. And furthermore, Israelites that are not circumcised, that are not in their proper order, as saith the law, can't eat of the holy things either. All right. There shall no stranger eat of the holy thing. But for first, actual other nations, they absolutely cannot. And then if you're an Israelite, you have to get within the law. You have to be within the law to eat of the holy things. And it also says a sojourner, so we know the sojourners are the Israelites, of the priest or an hired servant shall not eat of the holy thing. So even if you are an Israelite and you can't be a sojourner. All right? They have to check you out. Make sure you're circumcised. Make sure you understand what you're involved in. All right. The law also says that if I believe a stranger or sojourner come near, and if they be circumcised, they should be one that's born in thy household. All right, but if you just coming and you're going, you can't partake in the eat the holy things. When you go to Galatians, the 4th chapter, it clearly tells you. It says, let's go down to the point. 4:4. But when the fullness of time was come, the power sent forth his son, which is the Messiah, a capital S there in English, made of a woman made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. All right, so this proves two things here. To redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption. All right, this 5th verse. Redeem by payment of price to recover from the power of another. All right. So what? Power of death, ignorance, being not of people, a metaphor. So those are the Israelites being recovered by Yahweh's death. Metaphor of Mashiach freeing the elect from the dominion of Mosaic law at the price of his vicarious death. There you go. Because the Israelites were under the law, or they called it the Mosaic law. Well, he was just a mediator. It wasn't his law. All right. But it was they framed in that way because Moses the one came down and ministered to Israel. All right. So to redeem them that were under the law. All right. So who was under the law? Only the Israelites were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. All right. So basically, Paul put himself with the Galatians. So they're one people. So they were all under the law. So the Galatians were under the law and Paul was under the law. So we know that the actual Galatians Greeks were not of Jacob, Israel descent. Now you go to the table of nations, they come from Yawan. All right. Or Japheth. All right. Which would be the father. They're not of the seed of Shem. So to redeem them that were under law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. All right. So we know that the Peter and the Galatians here are of the seed of Jacob. All right, so now we know that Peter. Now let's go to this is Peter, 1 Peter 2, and start to. I was just reading about Paul and the Galatians, that they're the seed of Jacob because they were under the law. Northern nation Japheth was not under the law. Northern Hamitic tribes under the law, only of the seed of Shem. going down to Jacob, were under the laws. Wherefore also it is contained in 2 and 6, containing the scripture, Behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. That goes back to Isaiah 28, 16th verse. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. All right. Unto you, therefore, is the 7th verse, 1 Peter 2 and 7. Unto you, therefore, which believeth, he is precious, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same as became the head of the corner. All right. The Israelites again. The builders were the Israelites, the ones that were the head of Israel at the time. It's Psalms 118 and 22. The stone which the builders refused is become the head stone of the corner. We got also 1 Peter 2 and 8, a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed. Go to Isaiah 8th chapter, 14th verse. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin or a gin, and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. 8:14. Isaiah says, so the point is, all of these go back to the curses and blessings of the Israelites. All right. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that they should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of the Most High Yahweh, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Now you go to where we at? Which in time past were not a people, but now are a people of the power, which had not obtained mercy, but now now have obtained mercy. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust that war against your souls. All right, having your conversation honest among the Gentiles. So that proves that there are two types of Gentiles. So there are the Israelites that became strangers, that were pilgrims, foreigners that believed, and then you had Israelites that were mingled among in their ideology, in their beliefs, with the actual heathen, the actual Gentiles. Now this verse goes back to the book of Hosea, all right, or Hawashai in the Hebrew. 1 Peter 2 and 10 goes back to Hawashai in the Hebrew, or Hosea. The Hosea 1, 9, and 10. Let's go get that. Hosea 1, 9, and 10. I'll end the lesson there. To redeem them under the law, which in time past were not a people. Let's put you near Peter's. So it says, La Ruhama and Lo Ami. It says, and she conceived again and bare a daughter, and the power said unto him, Call her name La Ruhama, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. So the 6th verse. All right. It says, in time past, we're not a people. All right. So when the scriptures talk about in the New Testament a people being not a people, it's referring to the Israelites. All right. So let's go back to Hosea, not a people, and was not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. All right, see how it all comes together? So you go to Hosea 1:6. If you're going to get Lo Ruhamah and Lo Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. So this is where the Lord Most High Yahweh rejected Israel, and through the Messiah Yahweh Shai brought Israel back through his death. You got La'ah Rachamah, which means no mercy. A symbolic name given by the prophet Hosea to his daughter. All right, which his daughter was an Israelite. All right, and then we got La'ah I'm Yah, not my people. Symbolic name given by the prophet Hosea to his second son by Gomer. And is there any more information on there? All right. They want to explain things, they might as well explain it. But I'll explain it if they didn't explain it. Yeah, that's the children of Hosea. And it says, let's go down here. Slakia. Now when she had weaned Laruhamah, she conceived and bare a son, and she, all right. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in this place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall it be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. All right. Ye are not my people. So this is the curse. Ye are not my people. All right. Laruhamah. No. La'am Yah. Not my people. All right. So that links up with Peter. It's as simple as that. So the children were born as a dramatic act or prophecy that the Israelites would be cast off. They would become strangers. They would become sojourners. They would become Gentiles and heathens. These are English representations of Goyim. All right, being called Goyim, that label being put on the seed of Jacob for transgressions, for sins, for going away, falling away from our religion. So those labels were put on. So Goyim was put on the Israelites. All right, and Nakar. All right, Nakar was put on Israel too. All right, in extreme circumstances, Nakar. Or Zawar, like I brought up earlier. Zawar. All right. To be a stranger, to be one alienated. That's an extreme circumstances. So go back to Peter, which in time past, 1 Peter 2:10, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of the power, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. So let's go to the mercy part. So this whole last two verses is the mercy and Israel being made a people again. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. So this is in reference to what was previously said, that I will not have mercy on you, and you are not a people. So it says, yet, though I didn't have mercy on you, and I rejected you from being my people, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. which cannot be measured nor numbered, and it shall come to pass in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, meaning you being called Gentiles, strangers, foreigners. There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. Well, who was it said by? The apostles. All right. What, by Philip, Ethiopian eunuch. All right. Then by what? Peter. Let me get that and I'll close it out. Okay. Now, Cornelius comes in at the 10th chapter with Peter. But Philip was actually, according to the scriptures, the first, or at least one of the first, but this is before Cornelius. This is the 8th chapter, Acts 8, and Ethiopian receives Yahushua, and they, when they had testified and preached the word of the Lord, returned to Jerusalem and preached the gospel in many villages of the Samaritans. All right. So you had Israelites that were in Samaria. All right. So this is before Cornelius. It says, and they. So that means you had teachers, prophets up there in the villages of Samaria teaching Israelite Gentiles. All right. Because they heard, even though you had some circumcised Israelites there, you had some uncircumcised Israelites there. They heard the word. And the angel of the Lord spake unto Philip, saying, arise and go toward the south unto the way that goeth down from Jerusalem unto Gaza, which is the desert. And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia, a eunuch of great authority under Candace, queen of Ethiopians. This Ethiopian was an Israelite, and I was reading the Hebrew scriptures. All right, he's reading the Hebrew. Queen Candace of the Ethiopians, who had the charge of all her treasure, and had come to Jerusalem to worship. Right? Why would he come to Jerusalem? Because in the law it says that we're supposed to come to Jerusalem 3 times a year. He was coming to the land of Israel to fulfill his duties under the law. All right. Was returning and sitting in his chariot, read Isaiah the prophet. Right. So he spoke Hebrew. All right. He doesn't say it. I'm extrapolating. All right. He was speaking Hebrew. He was reading Hebrew, reading the book of Isaiah. All right. The Spirit said unto Philip, go near and join thyself into his chariot. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah. And there was no translator here, okay? And said, understandest what thou readest? I mean, guess when the Spirit told him to go down there, he brought a translator with him. All right. He was reading in the Hebrew. All right. So he was communicating with them in the Hebrew also. All right. It doesn't say it exactly here. I'm extrapolating. All right. It clearly says he was reading in Hebrew. All right. And he was reading the scrolls. And he said, how, understand what thou readest? And he said, how can I, except some man guide me? And he desired Philip that he should come up and sit with him. All right. So they, and then they started reading the Hebrew. I'll be reading Isaiah 53. Let me see. It's Isaiah 56. Isaiah 53 he's reading. Okay. Isaiah 53. He's taken from the earth. All right. So you're going to read Isaiah 53 to get what the Israelite eunuch that was from the Ethiopia. I mean, he was born there, or his parents, or he might have traveled there. All right. This had to be a wise Israelite to be good with money. All right. You know, a lot of Israelites were multilingual. All right. All right. So the internet's saying that he's speaking Greek. So he may have been speaking Greek. All right. He may have been speaking Greek or reading Greek. All right, but either way, Philip understood him. He says no, he's most likely reading Greek, which again, I don't know how they can actually prove that. Key point: it says it closely aligns with the Greek versions. Okay, because of how it's written. Okay, that's possible. All right, doesn't say it exactly, so he could have been reading Greek. All right, let's pull this back over to Acts 8th chapter. So he's either reading Greek or Hebrew. Let's see we get some more context here. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah, and said, "Understands what thou readest?" Again, it's possible, but I don't know if Philip understood Greek. So I'll say, and just because it's written a certain way, I mean, it's the English could be translated in the Greek way. So that's the proof that they're saying that it says known as the Septuagint, most likely reading the Septuagint, as he was reading from the prophet Isaiah, and the text quoted and the passage closely aligns with the Greek version rather than the original Hebrew. Again, we're reading the Greek version of the New Testament, so that's I can't go with that initial with that response. So he's probably reading Hebrew. All right, where are we at? I'll say Hebrew. All right. Well, Isaiah, that's the Greek version. All right. But yet we're reading English, so I can't go with that explanation. All right. But either way, Philip understood the Ethiopian eunuch. Ethiopian eunuch understood Philip. All right. And Philip understood what the Ethiopian eunuch was saying. He said, I'll read the last one again. Well, it says right here, Isaiah 53 and 7 and 8. Okay. Scripture returning. Treasury. How can I accept some man teach me? And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah. All right. Now, I don't know if Philip could speak Greek. Maybe he could. I don't know. Let's see what the internet say. All right. Could Philip speak and understand Greek, the apostle? Okay. So it's possible that he spoke, that he understand Greek. Yes, based on biblical accounts, it is highly likely the apostle Philip could speak and understand Greek. His name, I know his name is Greek, which is I don't think it goes back to the Hebrew. His Greek name and the fact that he is specifically mentioned as the point of contact with Greek-speaking Jews in the Gospel of John strongly suggests that he was bilingual. Okay. Here we go. Well, we're learning, right? So, I know his name was Greek, and I don't think that goes back to the Hebrew. Let's look it up real quick. So you ain't going to learn like this with these other camps. Yeah, pure Greek. So it makes sense that he was multilingual. And Philip was, let's see, his origins. It doesn't really say much. Just mentions his name. Philip and Bartholomew and Thomas and Matthew the publican. And Matthew may have been bilingual also. But that makes sense. But Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, James, those are all Hebrew names. All right, so the only one that have Greek names are, let's see, Simon's Hebrew, Peter's Hebrew, Andrew's Hebrew. Is Andrew Hebrew? I don't know. Yeah, Andrew's not Hebrew. Yeah. He's definitely a Jew. Tribe of Judah. But Andrew's name is not Hebrew either. His brother. So, yeah, I'm sure some history around there. Hey, let's look it up. It was Peter and Andrew's brothers. So yeah, Peter and Andrew were brothers. Let's look it up. Let's see what the internet says. Why doesn't the apostle Andrew have a Hebrew name? So there we go. So this did happen a lot. Andrew can't help the name he was given. Neither could Philip. So there we go. He's given a Greek name. It says indicating that despite being an Israelite, his family likely lived in a region where Greek culture was prevalent, and he was given a Greek name, which was common practice in that era. Okay, so we went through a few things, and I hope that everything I went through made you more intelligent than you were before. So I'll leave that lesson there. All right, hope you edified. Shalom.